Poem, The Puzzle. I don't know how I'm going to end this chapter. I don't know how I can fully let go, how I can fully grieve. When there are times and moments I'm barely holding on, times and moments I can barely breathe. How do I make sense of the last 16 years? A puzzle right before my eyes. A puzzle I spent so many hours trying to solve. A puzzle that's caused so many tears. A puzzle of a lifetime, of so much love, of so much pain, of so much fear. I still miss the man I fell in love with, the man that swept me off my feet. The man who was an illusion, the man who created a mirage, of everything I ever wanted in a man, of everything I ever wanted him to be. I still try to piece together the 1,000 pieces of this puzzle, spread all over, sprawled across the floor. I still try to make sense of what happened, trying to piece it together, trying to make a picture of what really happened, of what is no longer, of a life that is no more. I try and try, but I still can't put the puzzle back together, for the picture still doesn't quite make sense. The man with whom I fell in love contrasted with the monster who overtook him, the monster that made me run, the monster I'll never forget. Who really was the man behind the mask? Who was the true self? And who was the mask? Who was the act? Pieces of the puzzle that don't quite fit together, pieces I try to put together, pieces that still don't quite make sense. I try and try. I need an answer. I need to understand. What was truth? What was a lie? What was real? What was genuine? What was an act? My muffin, your act was so convincing. At times I think you even fooled yourself, blending the multiple personas, an act you'd been doing for decades, an act you perfected, an act you knew so well. I still wish I could make sense of it all, even though others tell me it'll never happen, no matter how hard I try. They say I can't make sense of the irrational, but I need the puzzle to come together. I need them to know I did everything I could. I need them to know how hard I tried and tried. I have to make sense of the truth. I have to make sense of the lies. For I loved you more than 1,000 lifetimes. I would have walked across the world if it meant I could have saved you. For you were my everything, my husband, my best friend, the love of my life. My love for you was so pure, so true. I took my vows so seriously, in sickness and in health, till death do us part, as your devoted partner, as your beloved wife. But now I know that you always had a motive behind each and everything that you did, always keeping a tally, always keeping a record. I always had to pay you back in one way or another. Your journals of records, your journals of tallies, revealing what you really thought, so different than what you acted, so different than what you said. Unconditional love from you was never truly real, a mirage I chased and chased as I reached out time and time again, hoping this time I could hold on, holding this time it won't slip away, hoping this time I could grasp it, maybe this time I could hold it in my hands. But it was never fully real, for it slipped through my fingers, the mirage I couldn't grasp. Each time it fooled me, the pain I'd start to feel, the pain became more intense. The mirage once again tricked me, thinking this time would be different. This time your love was pure, this time your love was real. But each time I learned the hard way. As I reached for you, you slipped away once again. My sweet man I couldn't hold on to. My sweet man was hollow, an optical illusion. Had I imagined him all along? I wanted him so badly. This can't be the truth. This can't be the end. As the realization hit, he was always a mirage. He was always an illusion. The grief knocked me down to my knees, shattering the picture of our life, of the story, of 16 years, of us, of you and me. Down upon my knees I rocked in agony on the floor, my forehead pressed upon the ground, hands covering my face, covering the silent screams, the horror of what's revealed, too great to make a noise, forever stuck, silent. The screams won't come out. As I realize this will kill me, as I realize I won't make it, as I realize I can't do this anymore. For once the truth was revealed, the lies consumed what little hope I had left, smothering out the flame. The fire went black. The fire went out. It is now black. It is now silent. And now I just wait, and wait, and wait. I wait for the death. Death of the illusion, of the man I thought I knew, of the man I thought I met, those 16 years ago. And now the illusion is revealed, the shattering of the image, of the memories I once cherished, of the life I thought I'd know, of the life I thought I'd have. I still try to piece together this puzzle, 1,000 pieces still sprawled across the floor. A piece here and a piece there, anything to put things back together, anything to bring some sanity, anything to bring some relief, to the endless grief I still hold, to the endless grief I still bear. And so while I still try to piece together this puzzle into something that's coherent, into something that makes sense, I have to try to move forward. I have to say goodbye to you. Goodbye, my muffin. Please know that my love for you is always real. My love for you is always true. Goodbye to the husband. Goodbye to the man I so loved. Goodbye to the monster. Goodbye to the illusion. Goodbye to the man I once thought he was.